Hey there, I'm King 5 meteorologist Ashley Ruiz with an extended look at your forecast. We can take a deeper dive to the forecast, talking about rain, mountain snow, some gusty winds, not just today, but the active weather pattern's going to continue through the week. Off and on, we'll have a couple of systems passing on through, and temperatures are going to trend cooler than normal. Also, there is a total lunar eclipse expected to occur Thursday night, at least for Seattle, in terms of timing. Will we see it? That's still up in the air in terms of cloud cover, maybe some rain, but I'll break down the timeline for you, and something we'll keep a very close eye out on, keep you posted. As you well know, we sprang forward this morning in our sunrise time, 7:33 a.m. But in 2 weeks, it's already going to be at 7:05. In 4 weeks and 6 weeks, we're going to have sunrises before 7 a.m. We are gaining rapid daylight as we get closer to the spring equinox and then the summer solstice. Sunset time, 7:06 p.m. That's today, but before you know it, we're going to have some pretty late sunsets, and eventually after 8 o'clock, that's going to come quickly. And I mentioned we are gaining rapid daylight at this point. Just in March alone, about 100 minutes of daylight. As of today, about 3 minutes and 26 seconds, and that's going to be the trend all month long. And then we are going to get at least a little bit less daylight each day, at least gained as we get closer to the summer solstice. But we're still going to get a lot of daylight between now and then. Something definitely to look forward to. We are going to have cooler than normal conditions. We'll have some sun breaks in the mix going through the work week, but we're not going to see a lot of sunshine or spring-like conditions like what we saw, at least at times, the last 2 weeks. Today is going to be the mildest day. Going forward, we are going to start to cool things down, and we'll have systems just moving in. We'll have a break, and then more rain, more mountain snow, and some gusty winds. Into late this week, we'll have increasing rain once again, and the reason why it's still a big question mark on whether or not we'll see that total lunar eclipse is because Thursday and into Friday we'll have increasing rain, and temperatures, especially during the morning hours, are going to get colder. We are expecting more mountain snow starting up in the northern Cascades, and eventually as snow levels start to drop, later today, we're going to get more mountain snow for the central Cascades and passes around 3,500 feet and above. Where you see the purple, that's that winter weather advisory, 4 p.m. through 5 a.m. Monday. About 4 inches probably for Snoqualmie Pass, up to maybe a foot for some. Mount Baker going to get more than that, but also some pretty strong wind gusts. Not just up in the mountains, but we'll all have breezy conditions as a front moves in as the day goes on. But there is a wind advisory in place for the Admiralty Inlet area. This includes Whidbey Island. South winds 20 to 35 miles per hour sustained, with wind gusts up to 50. In fact, Whidbey Island clocked a wind gust of about 60 miles per hour this morning alone. The rest of us could definitely see some wind gust about 30 miles per hour. But winds are going to start to at least taper off a little bit as the night goes on. High temperatures today close to where they should be this time of year in the low and mid 50s, but overnight we're going to dip down into the mid and upper 30s. 39 is where we should be this time of year, but we'll also have a couple of showers out there, and I'll time it out for you. But tomorrow we're going to have lingering showers, and temperatures will be on the cooler side of things, but not dramatically colder than normal. Timing wise of the rain, so as the day goes on, this front is going to push to the east, and all of that moisture, the atmospheric river, is going to just start to stream in from the west to the east, generally speaking, and it's going to cover the entire area, including Puget Sound, by the afternoon. You see up in the Cascades how we just have the purple color that starts in the North Cascades, and then snow levels start to drop with this front moving in, and then by tonight we'll start to see that enhanced orographic lift up in the mountains, and that's when we could get some heavy snow falling in the mountains, 3,500 500 feet and above through tonight and early tomorrow. There's also the chance that we get some convergence setting up, which would add to some locally higher snow totals up in the mountains. And we could get some pockets of heavier rain closer to Snohomish County if that convergence sets up. There's also the chance that we get maybe a couple of wet flakes mixing in, especially maybe Tuesday morning as we get yet another system moving in. But the front itself likely won't even move through and clear the area until Tuesday night. So we'll get more rain and then more mountain snow as the day goes on Tuesday, starting closer to the coast in the Olympic Peninsula. And you see some of that purple over the coast. So there is that chance that we could have some lower elevation wet snowflakes mixed in with a little bit of rain. We'll be able to fine tune the details, but it's just something we're watching. And that shows potentially Tuesday night and into Wednesday as snow levels come down to maybe about 1,500 feet or so, could have some of that, maybe some of that wet snow mixing in with rain in the foothills as well. In terms of rain totals, we desperately need the rain because we're still sitting in that deficit and we still have that moderate drought pretty much for almost all of western Washington. Through Tuesday night, about maybe 1 to 3 inches for the coast, but the rest of us will get about half of an inch, maybe up to an inch if we get some of that convergence setting up. In terms of snow totals, this is through Tuesday night. You see Mount Baker maybe a foot and a half, but then Snoqualmie, Stevens maybe up to close to a foot. Again, if we get some of that convergence setting up, significantly less for Snoqualmie Pass. But this is great news because we are lacking in snowpack as well. This is what I was talking about in terms of snow levels. With snow levels dropping that low, there is that potential that we get some snow falling in the foothills, maybe a wet snow mix. But again, it's not a guarantee, but with the unsettled weather pattern and then just with us getting all this moisture in place, it's a good possibility, especially because later in the week snow levels may temporarily drop down to about 1,000 feet before lifting back up to about 1,500 feet. I mentioned that total lunar eclipse. These times are for Seattle, so this is Thursday night, March 13th to Friday morning, March 14th. The timing, so the partial eclipse would begin about 10:09 p.m. That's when you'll start to see at least a little bit of the darkening of the moon. And then by 11:58, that's when the maximum eclipse will occur. So again, timing is everything with the cloud cover and then with any rain that could be moving in. And it is going to be a longer duration lunar eclipse. And once again, it's total. So the totality would be about 11:58 p.m. Thursday night. The total eclipse ends 12:31 a.m. And so after that, you won't see that red shading to the moon after that. But then the partial eclipse ends at 1:47 a.m. And as we get closer, we'll be able to give you an hour by hour forecast in terms for your viewing as we get a little closer. But heading into the new work week, keep that rain jacket with you. It's going to be very winter-like out there because temperatures will be cooler. And then into next weekend, it looks as though temperatures will continue to stay below normal. As you see the 7-day forecast there, overnight temperatures likely will be the coldest into Wednesday night and Thursday night. But then beyond the 7-day forecast, this is through at least the middle half of March. You see March 19th, temperatures may start to trend back a little higher, closer to where we should be this time of year. Once again, we need the rain, we need the mountain snow. So if you want to see any more weather updates, extended forecast, King 5 Plus, as well as the King 5 YouTube page, that's where you can always find the latest, these extended forecasts as well as we take a deeper dive into the forecast, or you can find a written discussion on king5.com.